Oh, yeah. I've got that fucking song in my head. What is it? You know the one? Oh, cha, 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 says my shaw, shaw, shaw. Can't get it out of my head. Cha, 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 cha. Welcome back, should I say. Welcome back to Dangerfield Sunday Prescription. And you know what? Life's been difficult. I've had some hard stuff going on. And, you know, like a true comedian, a true comic, a professional will always step up to the plate. Is that a saying? I think something about trains, probably. A true comedian will get on the train to Waterloo. No, even when life is hard, a true comedian will step up to the train and, you know, perform nonetheless, which is why there's been fuck all from me for about 5 fucking weeks. But I'm back and I've got some lovely, lovely stuff for you. Let's start with yesterday when I was very ill. I was very sick, and you know when you're sick you wear my bathrobe, not mine. It's been a while since I've spoken to anyone. You know when you wear like, your bathrobe and you sort of slippers and you sort of shuffle around your house going, well, I was like that. And I thought, fuck, man, I've got to eat. I mean, I'm only going to get iller as the day goes on. And my head was just going right above my eye. That's what I'd say to Gregory House. And I thought, I've got to get some food. Now, I live just over by a Pret-a-Manger. So I've been in there in my bathrobe and slippers before. That alone is no real drama, depending on who's in there. If it's just the staff, they're like, oh, there's that bloke who wears that in here. But if it's busy, you know, it can stand out a little bit. But I was running out of time. I wasn't running out of time at all, but I was running out of time. I needed to get it. I needed to eat, all right? So I've sort of shuffled over there in my slippers and bathrobe, and I've got a scarf on as well. And I've gone in there and I've picked up a fruit thing, like a plastic. It's like a plastic cup of fruit and a plastic cup of muesli with more fruit. They got little plastic lids on, and I sort of got them. And as I picked them up, I noticed my hands were shaking a little bit. Not that sort of caffeine shake, but just, you know, a little bit weak, little just sort of. But I thought, I'll be alright. And there was quite a lot of queues in there because it was around 1 o'clock and sort of all the office people around here obviously getting their lunch. And so I picked them up and I've gone over towards the counter, and it's weird in there because they've got like shelves in front of the till area. So it's kind of weird. You don't really know where you're meant to queue, and there's like a big queue, and this woman went, "Can I help you?" And I thought, well, I can get in here. I can get here easier and quicker than the sort of queues. There was like 3 or 4 other queues of 4 or 5 deep, but this one, just by luck and chance, had become available. But I thought, if I do go there, I'm going to have to commit to it. If I sort of shuffle over slowly, someone who's been waiting longer is going to think, oh, hang on, and then it'll be awkward, and they'll be there, then I'll have to talk to people, and I was ill, and I thought, fuck. So I thought, no, just go for it. Make what the best I could of, like a mad dash, but a mad dash in your slippers and bathrobe and scarf when you're weak and sick and your head hurts and you've had like 10 minutes sleep that year is a bit tricky. So I sort of went for it, and I sort of made up ground quite quickly, sort of. I was sort of, here I go, and I could feel them all looking at me. And you know what it's like in places like that. No one's going to go, oi, that ain't fair. I mean, it's not Russia. We're not queuing up for the last potato or anything. But you can feel the kind of, and I know it's not them, it's in me, and I'm sort of projecting their feelings onto me, which is projecting my own feelings onto me. Did you hear that? They're laughing outside. It's going so well. The new podcast is flying. So, anyway, I've sort of done it, and I can feel myself feeling their projection of me onto them as I'm going towards. And in my head, it's all going slow motion, and I can see her, and her eyes open up wide, and she's about to go, hello, sir. And just then, I think, this is where you got to go for it. So I reach out my arm. You know when they do the 100-metre sprint, and like it's literally, they lean forward at the end. You see them, and they win by like a nose. They win by like a nose. It didn't need saying twice. It didn't need saying thrice, but I will, because they win by like a nose. and I thought I could win this by like a fruit pot. So I've sort of stretched out my fruit pot. Now, I hope I've made this clear. There was no real rush. No one's trying to get in there. Again, this is one of those moments which characterise my life where what I think is happening is very different, quite different, actually different from what is happening. But I think I've got to just sort of get over that line. I think if I can get that fruit pot on the counter, that's the stress over. That's the point at which anyone who was trying to get in there, you know, the no one who was, but they're all watching, at that point, bang, fruit pot on the counter, it's all over. I've only then got to smile, touch my card on the screen and leave. Simple. But no. As the fruit pot is about to touch the counter, I've overshot a little bit because I'm trying to get it on the counter. But it's longer than I previously thought. So the bottom of the fruit pot hits the counter. Can you picture that? Yeah? Boom. And of course what happens is, because it's going with a little bit of force, the fruit launches into the air like a firework of guava and melon and blueberries. It's just gone everywhere, and it's just gone right up into the air. And of course, because the plastic has sort of bent and cracked, it's sort of gone. Yeah, I've got something similar here. Yeah, I've actually got a fruit pot here, so it makes this noise. Yeah, hang on. That's it. So that's made a cracking noise. Everyone's looked. I feel 100 eyes on me. So that's at least 50 people. There's a shower of fruit. The fruit's now landing. Everyone's going to... Some people actually had to get out of the way, the people very close to me, because there's like lumps of cut kiwi coming at them with such ferocity that it would probably make them turn green if it hit them. And then, of course, I've used my other hand. My left hand has come round. Oh, stop. Could you hear the pot is still cracking in the background? My other hand has come round. For some reason, I don't know, there was no chance I was going to contain any of the flying fruit. There was no chance I was going to catch any of it. But I thought I needed to make some sort of gesture, sort of a, whoa, watch out for fruit sort of gesture. So my left hand has come over, but as my left hand has come over, in the stress and tension of the moment, it's clenched. Now, of course, in that hand, I've got my muesli. So, as I've clenched it and the arm is swinging, I've gone and I've squeezed the top off and it's gone. And another crack, and then the lid's come off, and I've just thrown muesli over 3 staff members, possibly 4, maybe 5. But the first 3 were right in it. Now, they didn't get covered in it. It wasn't like custard pies in the face. But when it's someone else's muesli and you're serving people and it's busy, even a little bit sort of on your face is unwanted. But this was like, what was it? I don't know, like a small teacup's worth of muesli. So, to recap, imagine you're someone else. Well, you are someone else. But imagine you're in Pret-a-Manger and you're queuing up. Something yellow, white, old and shaky comes in, shuffling along in slippers and a bathrobe. It's 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It's central London, and that walks in. Now, I know what your first thought is. Well, I don't know. I'm not psychic, but I can guess. Your first thought is, he's one of those sorts of people, because they exist, and I didn't mean to become them, but I've seen that, and you're like, no, man, why is he coming here with his pyjamas on? So, imagine you're that person. You see me come in, then you see me try and take a sly route to avoid queuing up. Not only can't we bother to get dressed, not only not bothered to get out of bed before it's almost getting dark, but also trying to slide in round the back. And then you see me just smash a pot of fruit on the till, that'll go up in the air, and then you see me throw muesli over 3 staff members. It was ridiculous, and I just went into like this really odd panic. Not that odd, normal, I'd hope. If I didn't panic, that would be weird. If I just went, yeah, sorry about the fruit and the muesli, I just thought I'd throw them all at you. I sort of went, whoa! And then there's staff appearing and they're picking them up. Weirdly, some customers are also around me picking up like blackberries and bits of sliced apple from around my feet. And I was thinking, whoa. And then I thought, they're helping because they think I'm mental. And then I thought, well, they're helping because I am mental and I need the help. I didn't bend down to pick any up. I was going, it's all right, it's all right. It's not all right. I said, it's all right. And then the woman said, get some more, it's all right, get some others. And I just thought, shit, man, that's a long way back to the fruit and muesli, and then back here with everyone looking. Look at the trouble I got in just doing it once. Did I really want to do it twice? So I thought, no. What I'll do is I'll pay, and then I'll grab them on the way out. Do you know what I mean? I'll say, okay. So I said to her, okay. I said, sorry about all that. And they're all like wiping muesli off them. And it's quite light-hearted. It's not like, no. They're all sort of like feeling quite sorry for me, in truth. But so I said, it's all right, I'll just pay. And then I'll get them on. But I'm saying it like this. I'm going, it's all right. And my head's really hurting, and my hands are shaking, and my lips quivering a bit like I'm about to cry. And I go, it's all right, I'll just pay. And they sort of know me in there, but that makes it worse, because if they'd never seen me before, they haven't got anything to judge me by. Do you know what I mean? You can't have a measure without a scale and all that. But they do, so they could sort of sense there was something wrong. And I was sort of like, it's all right, no, I'll just pay. And she went, okay. And I got my wallet out. I got a small brown wallet. I got my wallet out, and it was in my hand, small brown wallet, yeah? But it had a zip on it, and my wallet doesn't have a zip on it. And I thought, oh. And then I thought, maybe it does have a zip on it, you know, with fruit, fireworks and exploding muesli. Who knows? You know, maybe I've got it wrong. You can never be 100%, can you? You can never be 100% about anything. I've had arguments with people in the past where I've said, no, that's so-and-so, that's so-and-so in that film. And they've gone, no, it ain't. And I've gone, yes, it is, 100%. I'll bet you 20 quid. They've gone, go on then. And then it isn't. And I was sure it was. So I've learnt that. You can never be 100%, even when you are. Even when I am. I now know these days that if someone says to me about something, are you 100%? Are you totally sure? I always say, there's a chance I could be wrong, but I probably aren't. But with my new zip on my wallet, I was like, it was the same colour and shape and size as my wallet, but with a zip on it. And so she went, okay, $5.90 or whatever it was. So I've unzipped my wallet, and my hand's shaking, and it's sort of, I've got it here in front of me. So I'm sort of going like this. And I've opened it, and me, her, a couple of staff that are still wiping muesli off them, and the millions of customers are all watching as I open my wallet to reveal some toenail scissors, a toe clipper, a nail file, and some tweezers. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. I have taken my gentleman's manicure set to pay for my goods. So I've just sort of looked at it, and I've just looked up, and I just went, yeah. I just came home. Just came home. Didn't get my food, got in bed, stayed in bed. Awful. I've had all sorts of dramas with the old bathrobe, actually. Once, I mean, because I'm quite public here with my windows, once I've got sash windows, yeah, and I've got the bathrobe on, and this is another day, obviously. I'm walking around, and the belt, right, I'll be honest with you, the belt dipped in the lavatory. Alright, I sat down on the toilet without, I sort of pulled up the, I pulled up the back of it, what do you call it? I pulled up the back of the robe to sit down, but the belt had sort of dipped in it. So, no one wants to wear a belt dipped in piss, do they? So I sort of took the belt out. I didn't take the belt out, I left it in, but sort of dripping around, but not on me. I didn't, bollocks, I took it out. So I'm holding it together. Now, when I'm just walking around normally, I'm not holding it together. That's fine, because there's no one in my room, so it's all right to have bollocks and a willy and that. But it's all right to have a bollocks and a willy anyway, but you'll see what I mean. But I'm sort of holding it together. But, of course, you get used to just sort of not worrying about it. And sort of I've gone over to the window, and I've looked out, and I'm holding it together, and I'm looking out, and it's a nice day, and the weather's nice, and I thought, get some air in. You know, I like to have the air in. I'd rather it be a bit cold with fresh air than all hot and horrible and grotty. So I've got this sash window, but the problem with it is the sash is a little bit broken, so you need two hands to sort of push it up. So I've got my both hands on the window, and I've sort of lifted it up, and I'm holding it up, and I'm looking around for a bit of paper or something to shove in it. And of course, while I'm looking around for bits of paper, the first thing I see is my nuts and penis. That's right, my bollocks and cock. And the people in the street and in the window of Pret looking at me as I'm holding up the window, bollocks and penis akimbo. That's the problem with that. Another not so nice story with Pret, of course, was when it was the height of the English summer, those 2 hours way back in July, when I thought, no, I'm going to wear shorts, a nice pair of shorts, and I've got them. I'm wearing them at the moment, actually, my shorts. Now, before I went over there, this is a grotty story. Before I went over there to get my muesli, my fruit pot, I tried to have a hit, and had a bit of trouble with it in my femoral vein, and it wasn't really happening, so I've had to go over to the other side, and it wasn't really happening there, so I've had to go back, and the needle's getting more and more blunt, and all this sort of dramas, and in the end I got it in, and I just thought, oh man, and it wasn't a lot anyway, because I don't like having a lot, I don't want to be doing the fucking thing anyway, but you know, it's better than withdrawing. And then I've gone over there, and I'm queuing up. No big dramas, but I look down, and of course there's 2 long, thin, red lines of blood going down to about my knees. Welcome to my world. It's lovely to have you back. What other lovely things could I share with you? Okay. Something interesting on the old Dangerfield horizon. I'll tell you what, let's not talk about the football, which is the way of talking about the football. It was awful. I know that most of you aren't interested, but we're not really talking about football. We're talking about people. That's what everything's about, really, at the end of the day. But yesterday there was a football match, and the referee sent 2 Arsenal players off, and one of them he sent off because there was like a little fight and all that. And everyone has pretty much said he got it totally tits up arse. You know the old saying, tits up arse. He got it completely elbow in eye. I mean, he fucked it. And everyone said it, even Spurs fans, and you know, oh, Arsenal, oh, Spurs, oh, we don't get on, all 7 sisters, 4 brothers, 2 cousins, a mother. We don't get on, and even Spurs fans on the Facebook social network that your granddad uses said, you know, this was bullshit, and this was bullshit. It was completely wrong. They won't put video into football because they say it's going to slow the game down. Even though Sky are already doing it for the viewers at home quicker. Sky show you the repeat video about 5 times before the game has even restarted. The argument that video is going to slow it down is bullshit. They use it in rugby. It's brilliant. You don't have it. Well, rugby's not brilliant. It's rubbish. But the use of video in rugby is brilliant. I'm sorry if you like rugby, but it's rubbish. So everyone's complaining about it. Now, there's a saying in football that a good referee is invisible, right? Now, we don't take that literally. It doesn't mean that the only good referee ever was the Invisible Man. Imagine it. You're 22 blokes running around in a pair of glasses and a pipe chasing them. No, a pair of glasses and a whistle. Yeah, see, that's what I like about comedy, the Invisible Man being a referee. But a good referee is invisible, and yesterday Mike Dean was trending on Twitter. That's kind of a measure of that man's ludicrous ego, because it's not about the football. He had no intention of doing his job, which is to officiate and maintain the game. No intention of doing that. He wanted it to be about him. You can see it on his face. And I don't like to have hatred brewing in me, but what I see in Mike Dean is what I saw of teachers at school. He's got a bit of that about him. He's like a cunting teacher who stands up there and he goes into a class not to teach, not to nourish children's minds, but to have authority, to have some kind of power. You know, Mike Dean was just standing there like he looks like he's sucking his own one plastic bollock and just holds that red card out, and he's probably thinking, no, I'm going to have a great fuck tonight. And you can imagine him when he's back at home, double teaming some streetwalker with a blow-up doll of himself at the other end, high-fiving it, probably holding a red card up, going, did you see me fuck them at the Arsenal today? Awful show. Awful show. And then that tit, shit, cunt, fanny, wank, tock, whack. Tock, you know, I like to keep it really offensive when I call someone a tock. You bloody tock. But that shit tock, Mike Dean, made it all about him. That isn't what I was going to say. You could tell two things there. One, I lost my train of thought. And I'd already stepped up to the plate, which is weird that I should have lost my train of thought. And two, I said the wrong thing. It wasn't Mike Dean. What I meant when I said the shit cunt wanker fuck tock, Jose Mourinho, him. He's so dislikable. He's so dislikable outside of football. If you know about football, the Premier League, you'll already know about Jose. And if you are a Chelsea supporter, you'll make excuses for him. And he's been quite successful as a manager. But that doesn't make him a nice person. It doesn't make him good for football. And he is definitely not the last two. And afterwards, he had the cunting... awful. He actually said that Costa, who was an utter shit, he cheated, essentially cheated. He hit a defender in the face 2 or 3 times, and then he forced someone to kick him by walking into their foot. It was bullshit. And even those Chelsea supporters will know that Jose Mourinho and Costa, I'm really losing what I'm saying here, but my point being, it didn't make football better, and I don't know what else to say. I was just... rambling about them. But Jose Mourinho said that Costa was the man of the match. Oh, that's it. Costa was the man of the match. Jesus Christ. If anyone's still listening, I'll call myself a tock in 45 minutes. I swear I will. He said he was man of the match, and he said that's why millions and millions of people round the world tune in to watch the Premier League because of people like Costa. And I thought, do we really? Is that why millions and millions of people around the world tune into the Premier League, to watch people cheating and fighting? I'm not sure. If that's what you want, maybe watch UFC, maybe watch the boxing, watch something where they fight, or watch something where they cheat a lot. I mean, endless opportunities there. Not the football. Today I watched Manchester United, Southampton. I got no time for them in terms of teams. Good match of football. But I no doubt millions and millions of people turned off at half time because there was no cheating or fighting, and that's not what, people don't want to watch, just a good game of football, you fucking tocks. Okay, so don't mention the football. Well, let's get back to something more interesting, like one of my straight mates, yeah? Hang on, before we get on to my straight mate, I had a little gay encounter. I haven't been going to the gym lately because of this, I've been going through some hard stuff, and I have. I mean, it takes a lot for me not to be doing my podcast. I do love it. I love all my listeners, and the listenership keeps going up and up. And if it keeps going up this well, I'll soon be charging. So, and it has been difficult for me. It really has, and it takes a lot for me to not be doing things, and I've had to just take a step back and spend a bit of time with myself and that. And so I've stopped going to the gym because I just haven't had the motivation, and emotional stress. I certainly feel it in my body. It takes it out of me physically and mentally. Emotional worry and pain, and it's not it's unavoidable in life, and I get that. But I haven't dropped out going to the sauna because I felt that could help me heal, and it's quite healing, and it's being nice to yourself. Go to the sauna, sit down. No fucking iPhone, no computers, nothing to watch or distract you. Just sit down and sweat out quite a few toxins that may or may not have entered my body over the last zillion decades that I've been walking this hideous earth. Or on the train if I step up to the plate. So I went to the sauna, and it's a mixed sauna, steam room actually, but they called, it's called, when you say to someone steam, I went to the fucking steam room, and I was in there, and it was really nice, just the time, take some nice deep breaths, and someone had obviously put some kind of essential oil on the burner or whatever it is. There was no one in there, but I could smell like nice sort of peppermint, those kind of nice sort of clear your nose, and it was really nice. And then some bloke came in, and he sat down. I didn't pay much attention to him, but I was aware that he was there. The emotional dynamic of the situation changes, even if you're not engaging actively. There's like a passive engagement in those situations. So I'm just sitting there, and I sort of straighten my back up against the wall. I don't want to be slumping in there. I do a couple of little stretches. Quite humiliating, actually. It sounded like someone had just dropped a packet of chopsticks. So I've sort of pulled my arm up, and it went. And then I was just sitting there, with my eyes closed, sort of breathing. And I am a little bit of a romantic, and I do fancy myself as a bit of a flaneur, a postmodern one, of course. I mean, your original flaneurs, your Baudelaire and Kojève and all that lot, they were real flaneurs because it hadn't become a thing. But I know what one is, and so when I'm doing it, I'm sort of, you know what I mean. And I sort of imagine one of those old kind of saunas where all the old boys sit around like whacking their backs with sticks, and and they know each other, but they don't socialise outside the sauna, and it's just sort of like, oh, have you been getting on with your business? Ooh, and all that sort of, this sort of world that doesn't exist, probably never did. But I kind of imagine it, so I think I'll take a punt. I think, I'll talk man to man with this bloke. Maybe a stranger might be able to help me with the emotional issues that I've been going through. So I go for it, and I go, and again, like Pret, like everything in my life, I overcomplicate it. I start thinking about it. I should have just said, all right, mate, or it's nice in here, something like that. But I start thinking about it, and I think, well, I haven't spoken for some time, and although I'm in a steam room, that's probably changed. I've been doing a lot of nasal breathing, and with all the sort of different sort of scents that are coming out of the steam, all the peppermint and whatever it is. I keep wanting to say Euphromol, but that's my fucking toothpaste. What's that one? You've said it, haven't you? That thing that tastes like that. That little group that you get in things that you get in Tiger Balm. Anyway, I'm thinking there might be something wrong, so I've really got to commit. Again, I've got to commit. What is this? What is all that? Just to say hello to someone. And I suddenly went, I wanted to say, where are you from? I noticed he looked a bit mixed race and he had a tan. And I didn't want to go, where are you from? I come from the 70s. I know what, I remember what society was like when anyone that didn't look sort of like they were born in London in the 100 years ago, people would just go, where are you from? And so I just sort of went with a little laugh in my voice, I just wanted to sort of make it light. And so I sort of went, where are you from? Imagine being him. Imagine being someone else. Imagine you're in a sauna. Imagine you walk into a steam room. I'm sorry I keep saying sauna and steam room. It's because the place is called a sauna, but I only use the steam room. But imagine you've walked into a steam room and some bloke sitting there with his eyes closed, his back against the wall, overly sort of straight, and he suddenly opens his eyes, looks at it and goes, where are you from? Added to that, the acoustics in there are almost impossible. It's almost as if when you talk, the vibrations, it's almost like this crazy sort of slap reverb. Is there such a thing as a slap reverb? It sort of goes, whoa, whoa, sort of comes back to you. So it's like, maybe I'll put an effect, as if I've got time, but as if I haven't got the time. I might put an effect on the voice to show you what it's like, but it was sort of like, where you from? Really weird. He was shocked, right? He sort of opened his eyes and went, and he said, sorry? But he wasn't, I don't think, saying that at that pitch by accident. And I noticed then that he was sort of rather heavily tanned, not coloured. I don't mean coloured as in, oh no, the coloured family down the road. Don't mean coloured like that. I mean he was tanned rather than a natural pigmentation. You could tell it was a bit streaky around his calf muscles. It was a fake tan. And then I also noticed he didn't have like a pair of shorts on, like a pair of Bermudas or any of the other range that the heterosexual majority will tend to opt for. No, he had the little tiny, virtually a G-string thong on. So I'm thinking, a little bit too late really, that he's probably a massive gay. Now when I mean probably too late, not because that essentially in any way is a problem, but I probably wouldn't, when virtually naked myself and 3 foot away from him, in a steam room, look at him and go, "Where are you from?" And so he went, in his little pants and fake tan, he went, "Oh," he went, "Well, my mother is from Romania and my father is from Italy, but I like to just say Italy, you know, with the Romanians." And I thought, when I think of Romanians, I like all that. I like it. I like what's those lovely films, Night of the Gypsies and all that. King of, I can't remember what it's fucking called, and Black Cat, White Cat, and all that. And Dangerfield is a Romany name, and I know it's not the same thing, but I like the dirty suits and all that, and the gold teeth. And I tell you what, once I was on a train and there was this Romanian gypsy coming down the train in all her garb with a little cup out, and I remember I'd been out on it, and she was sort of going, like right down the end of the carriage. It's sort of lovely, you know, like again, I am a romantic, and I'm hearing it on the train, and it's sort of risen above the noise of the train. It's risen above the little kid opposite me munching his crisps, and people on their phones talking about nothing. And it was sort of it sort of everything almost sort of seemed to go quiet, and all I could hear was a. And she was sort of offering this sort of cup of loose change sort of to people to sort of give her some money, you know. She was begging them. And as she got nearer, I was looking at her, and, you know, mouthful of gold teeth, beautiful dark eyes, quite old, you know, maybe nearly 60, over 60, you know, headscarf on, and I thought, I'll give her some money, actually. So I've sort of fiddled around in my pocket, and it's getting nearer. Lovely. And then when she sort of got past the bin area and was like in my carriage, she started her song again. And now she's right there. It wasn't actually what I previously thought. It wasn't this beautiful sort of Romanian, I don't know what I thought it was, like a lullaby or some kind of hymn or something. No, she was going, "Can you give me £1, please? Can you give me £1?" Now the thing is, it still was what I thought it was, because that's what I thought it was. Do you know what I mean? It was beautiful and it was romantic, because that was my interpretation. But she properly sort of culture slapped me when I realised she was just saying, "Give us £1." And I did put it in there, and I remember I would like to lie and say I put it in there and went, "There's your £1." But I didn't. I just put it in there and said thanks. Anyway, so again, so I can romanticise all that. So he's going, you know, I like to say Italy because the Romanians. And then he's come a bit nearer, and then I'm like, all right, come on. I'm thinking, all right, you are in a steam room with a massive gay, and you've gone, "Are you right? Where you from?" And he's sitting next to you, because I've had a gay try and suck my cock in a sauna, but it was a gay sauna. I went there with mayoral candidate Ivan Masso, who didn't make the run-in, weirdly enough. But I went there with him once. He took me to a gay gym, which is just a gym, but they're all really, really fit blokes. And when we got into getting changed, I went, "Can I get in this?" It was a sauna in there. "Can I get in the sauna?" He went, "I wouldn't." I went, "Why?" He went, "They'll just flick spunk at you." And I just sort of laughed him off. Got in there, and they do not give a shit. In fairness, I was on their patch, but they're just wanking each other, and the geezers just come over, put a hand on each of my knee, and I just went, "No, you're all right." And as I've gone out, they've all laughed, and I thought, that's fair enough. Go into a gay sauna, expect gay sauna activity. But anyway, this one wasn't, but it was on the verge of nearly becoming one. Now he's next to me. Now check it. I thought to myself, no, this is bullshit. Excuse me, I'm just having a sip of my tea. If you've got some tea, have a sip now, and then your slurping won't ruin my exciting story. 1 second. Cold. So he's sitting next to me, and he's gone. He went, "How old are you?" And I went, "I'm 43. And he went, No way. I would have said you were, I don't know, 32. Now I'm just thinking, look, don't be essentially. I'm saying essentially all the time again. I think that's because I am about the essence of things, really. You know, out of the semiotic divide, I am about the truth at the core. I'm about the acorn of thought that is the tree of being. That's right. I'm interested in sowing the epistemological seed to see what the ontological harvest will serve up on our table of culture. But I'm thinking, don't be an idiot. Just because he's a massive gay doesn't mean he want to fuck you. You know, that's a bit sort of, you know, why would he want to fuck me? I'm a 43, smashed up, old, washed up prick. He's probably just being nice. But when he said I look 32, I can assure you I don't. And with the shit I've been through lately, I've probably put on another few decades. And when he said 32, I thought, all right, that sounds like a chat up. That's what you'd say to someone, isn't it? But then again, I want to give him the benefit of the doubt. I don't want to be the bloke that runs out of a sauna just because a bloke's gay. That's nonsense. It's not me. But saying you're 32 is crazy. And then I go, thanks. I say, but no. And then he says, you know who you remind me of? And I'm thinking, cat weasel. And he goes, right, check it. If you know what I look like, and I assume most of you do, if you don't, put Chris Dangerfield into Google. You'll see easy what I look like. He went to me, you know what you look like? You look like Keanu Reeves. I couldn't look less like Keanu Reeves. I look more like Rod Hull. I look more like Emu than I look like Keanu Reeves. And it was at that point, with you're 32 years old, you look like Keanu Reeves, that he touched me on the shoulder at a really unnecessary point. If we were talking about something and he went, come on, and give me a push, I'd have thought, yeah, but he didn't. It was just out of the blue, little touch on the shoulder. I went, I'm done here, mate. And left the sauna. And that was my gay sauna experience for this week. I'll see if I can get you one for next week. However, the reason I got onto that was my mate. He's been my mate for years and years and years, and he is going to have a transgender date. No shit. I say date, she's a whore. He's gone onto a website where you pay money to get a trans woman. That's right, and he sent me a picture of her, and she looks amazing, beautiful, like they tend to, especially in a photo. You know, we've all got one nice photo, so imagine it's your photo for your website for people to pay to have sex with you. You're going to make sure it's a nice photo. You're going to make sure you're looking good. And, you know, on the whole, trans women look fantastic, you know, because they sort of have to. And there's that joke in Thailand that kind of comes from the truth. Sorry, my phone's making all sorts of noises. That in Thailand, the way if you want to avoid the lady boys, just avoid the better looking women, because see what I mean. So there's a bit of that going on. So he sent me a photo of her, and she's got this beautiful hair, beautiful face, perfect makeup, and she's wearing this sort of like dirty, not dirty as in unclean, but sort of dirty, sexy, sort of big expanded fishnet kind of number, and she's got her sort of legs open, and she's got a massive cock in her hand. It's huge. It is huge. And I'm looking at it, but it's amazing because my friend has never shown any interest in that area. He's been straight all his life. He's had females from birth girlfriends all his life, and you know, he's 43, 44, and he's set it up. He's got the money. He's made contact. He sent me over the texts to and fro. Not because I didn't believe him, but you know, we're mates. And he was like, "No way, look, it's on." And he's going to meet her. And I've said to him, "What are you gonna bum her, or is she going to bum you?" And he's like, "It's not about the bumming." And I thought, that's amazing. That's interesting, because I just thought that's what it was. He's got himself a whore. She's got a penis, but she's still a whore, and he's going to bum her or be bummed or both. And he said no. And I said, "What is it you're after then? You know what?" What is it? What? And he struggled to answer. In fairness to him, he doesn't know. He's sort of like, well, you know, it's something about women, but loving femininity, and it's the femininity, or you know, the hyper real kind of expanded sort of femininity of the trans woman. Not all of them I know, but of that particular group. That he likes all that. And I said to him, yeah, but if you like femininity, in the morning when that beard's coming through the foundation and an erection rubs up against your legs. That's not going to be too feminine, which was a bit low, I know, but it's exciting stuff. It really is, and it's kind of interesting. It's like, it's a weird one with transgender for me, because it's called transsexual, transgender, transvestite, and trans means beyond, doesn't it? Beyond something. But if you're transgender, surely it's not an issue. And yet it's a massive issue for you if you're transgender, because that's what you've defined yourself as, and you don't want your penis, or you do want your penis, or you want to dress as a woman, or you want to dress as a man. And so it's not transgender, it's bang on gender. I know that doesn't sound as good, the bang on community, but it's not beyond gender. It's a real issue of gender. So I don't know, that come up, and it's an interesting thing, and I'll keep you informed with what happens with him. I'll tell you what happens. It's an interesting story. 43 years, a straight male. He's had loads of relationships, loads of very beautiful women, and now he's going to go and see a beautiful woman with a massive penis. I hope that's interesting. Okay, well, we've already got onto the questions. I've overrun. Oh, the station, the commissioners of the show are going to be awfully upset that I've overrun. Right, we're on to the questions already, which means I have rambled. I hope you've enjoyed it. I really hope you've enjoyed it. I was gutted that I haven't done any for so long, and we'll be back on our usual weekly prescription from here on. Now, the questions these are old answers. Well, it was an old question, but I asked you to do the would you rather. Do you remember the lovely one from childhood where you'd go, would you rather have ants coming out of your eyes for the rest of your life, or your mum's tongue forever in your mouth? Things like that. And I asked the people on Facebook, what would you rather? That one. And so that's what we've got. I said, let's hear your would you rathers. So here we go. Let's see what happened. Merlin, and by the way, the people that asked the questions, thanks, because without you, we haven't got questions. And without the questions, there's just a 10-minute silence at the end of the podcast. Merlin Ayres asks, would you rather get married or die a long, painful death from an actual illness? Well, just get married. Fool. John Hamilton, I mean, just because you're married, it doesn't mean you have to do what being married says. You just do it to avoid the long pain. What a foolish question. John Hamilton says, would you rather be you or someone better? And then he goes in with another, well, would you rather be you or someone better? Rather be someone better? Obviously, this is bullshit. Would you rather be you or someone better? You can just ignore the you bit. Would you rather be better? Of course I'd like to be better. I'd like to be better than me. And then even if I was better than me, I'd like to be better than that. Self-improvement, John Hamilton. And then he says, would you rather know when you're going to die, or would you rather have it be a surprise? Well, surprise is an odd word. Would I like to know when I'm going to die? No, God no. Alex Dean, would you rather be shagging a dog and your dad walks in, or shagging your dad and a dog walks in? Well, my dad's dead, so I'd rather be shagging a dog, because if my dad walked in, he'd be alive. Where if I was shagging my dad and a dog walked in, it would probably be a skeleton. Alex Dean then also asks, would you rather always smell of fish but you can't smell it, or always be able to smell fish? Wait, would you rather always smell of fish but you can't smell it, or always be able to smell fish? Oh, I get it. I think I'd rather... I wouldn't want other people... It's a tricky one grammatically. I don't want other people thinking I smell a fish, and if that meant I had to smell fish, I'd rather smell fish. That's not fair. I'd rather have people around me than be lonely and not fishy. Alex Dean, oh come on man, 3 shots at it. Alex Dean, would you rather only be able to eat the same thing for the rest of your life, or only be allowed to eat everything once for the rest of your life? The second one, I'd like to be able to eat everything once rather than eating the same thing. Obviously, it's obvious. Pope Lonergan says, would you rather get convicted of a crime with a small sentence, say 3 years, but a high social stigma, or the opposite, 25 years, but people think you're great because you murdered a corrupt politician. Okay, small time locked up, but high social stigma, or loads of time. Small time locked up, always. Just don't want to be in prison. Fuck what everyone else thinks about who I murdered. Smelling a fish is different to murdering a corrupt politician. That's the important thing. Helmut von Diggle, would you rather only be able to moonwalk everywhere you go, or river dance to your life's destinations? Moonwalk or river dance? God, that's tricky. See, that's a good one. That is on the money. Moonwalk everywhere or river dance? Moonwalking means I'm going to be walking backwards, which is trouble, but river dance is really shit. River dance, can't be doing with the walking backwards. Great one. Stephen Cree says, would you rather suck my cock or Ivan Masso's? You know, I mentioned Ivan Masso, the one-time mayoral candidate, earlier. Would you rather suck my cock or Ivan Masso's? Probably yours, Steve, because it's seen certainly a lot less action than Ivan cocking every arse in London Masso's. Lauren Johns says, would you rather be good at something and no one know, or would you rather believe you are good at something and you ain't ever been found out? Okay. Be excellent at something and no one knows, or people think I'm good at something. I'd rather be excellent at something than people think I was good at something. It's interesting, isn't it? Because a lot of these have been about other people, but it changes. I don't want other people to think I smell a fish, but that's only because I'd like to be around other people. But about being good at something, I'd rather just be good at it than care what they think. It's interesting why there's a difference there. Sherry Lorraine Brown says, would you rather end hunger or hatred? I think ending hunger... Oh, it's interesting. Would ending hunger lead to an end in hatred? Or would an end of hatred lead to an end of hunger? Oh God, it's Sunday and we're dialectically, materially opposed to our own contradictions. I don't know. I'd rather end hunger. People are hungry, they shouldn't be. The world produces more than enough. It's bullshit. Do you remember when those Africans were dying and we were fucking burning food? Still goes on today. It's fucking ridiculous. Cone Simpsonski! Would you rather have bananas in your bum or bums in your banana? I'll leave that one for you. That's a great one. It's my new song. Would you rather have bananas in your bum or bums in your banana? I'd rather have a bum in my banana. I'd love to pull back that little yellow jacket and see a little banana bum. That'd be wicked. They wouldn't be called bananas anymore. They'd be called bananas or banana bums. Banana bums, I prefer. Bananas or bummer bum. Oh, I'm just saying bum. Chip Summers. Would you rather have sex with your mother or murder her? And there's a little addition to this one. My mate who knows my mum, Ben Walker, who we call Bon Walker, puts under that one. Right, JD, that's my mother, that's her initials. He knows her and he's put under there, not JD, for fuck's sake. Not JD, for fuck's sake. Okay, it's a good one though, Chip Summers. Would you rather have sex with your mother or murder her? Oh. What again? I'm going to leave that one floating in the air. Okay, there's plenty more, but fuck, there's too many. They're all the same. Right, it's been going on for ages. I'm sorry it's been so long. Thanks for bearing with me. I hope the numbers are up this week. Please listen every week, right? And get some friends. Please share the link. I need more listeners because soon I'm going to start charging. And it'll only be something like 50p a listen. But if I can get a few more, that'll be a few £100 to pay for my lovely holidays. And I assure you, when I go on holiday, I'll have stories to entertain you. It's nice to be back. Look after yourselves and the ones you love. And if you find a bum in your banana, send me a photograph. I'll see you later. Much later.